Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be ranking every single operator in Rainbow Six Siege for Year 9 Season 1. If you get upset at any of the rankings in this video, let me know where I went wrong down in the comments. I want to hear your opinions and why you think I got it wrong. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Starting off with Ace, he is easily an S tier operator. For ranked, he's just one of the best hard breachers, and hard breachers are always going to be good in Siege, so I don't see why he doesn't deserve S tier. He also gets the AK-12 as well. As for Alibi, I'm tempted to go B tier, high C tier operator. I'm just going to chuck her in B tier for now, and I will rejig these at the end if I feel like I've kind of got some in the wrong places. And Maru, also going in B tier. She's very hit or miss. If you hit with an Amaru and you get an Amaru rush off perfectly, she can be one of the best attackers, literally winning you around within the first 30 seconds. But most times out of 10, you'll just rush in and die. As for Rooney, she's actually one of my favourite defenders, but I don't think I can actually put her any higher than B tier. Ash, definitely got to go in A tier, one of the best fragging potentials out of the entire lineup of operators. You know, she's getting ACOG again next season as well, which a lot of people are hyped about. Now, Azami is the first one that is going to be a little bit of an interesting placement, because obviously it's been announced that she's getting nerfed. Her barricades are now going to have a set HP of 999 health, and then you can deal damage to it with your bullets and destroy it. Now, with that being said, I still think she's going to be an S tier operator. Obviously the season isn't out yet. This is very early thoughts. I have played the test server for a little bit. I have played Azami on the test server. I still think she's going to be an S tier operator just because of the unique lines of sight she can make. Bandit though, A tier. I mean, he's easily countered. If you know how to bandit trick properly, he can be good, but obviously he can still be countered even while bandit tricking. Blackbeard has to be in D tier until he gets his rework. They didn't tell us what his rework was going to be in Season 4, but hopefully it's good enough to get him out of D tier, because oh my god, he's been there basically since I started playing the game. Blitz then, one of the first shield operators. Now, I don't want to just put all the shield operators in C tier because they're only viable in certain situations, which I normally do. I actually want to give them some countability here, and I think Blitz is one of the more better shield operators in the game. I don't think I can put him higher than B tier though, but the ability to blind people and then aim and shoot them is just going to be a massive plus side when it comes to shield operators nowadays. As for Brava though, I think she deserves A tier. It really depends on how the defenders are lined up. If they have the likes of a Capcan and a Maestro, she could be S tier, but if they have someone who's like, I don't know, Malusi or Thorn or something like that, some other gadgets that you just want to destroy and it's not really going to be much use hacking, then you're probably better off just bringing a Twitch or a Flores. As for Buck, I genuinely think he is still S tier, one of the best fragging potentials. He kind of does what Azami does, but on attack, and he does it in the reverse, so he can open up angles through soft floors, soft walls and stuff like that, and he can play vertically, and he's very, very strong. The AR on Buck as well is arguably one of my favorite guns in the game. Capital, I think, also belongs in B tier. Already, I'm starting to see a divide between the operators in this tier. As for Castle then, I think he can be an A tier operator if played right, so I'm going to put him in A tier, to be honest. If you're playing Castle well, you can really just like force attackers to push in certain doorways and rotate and push through certain areas of the map, and it can be absolutely crucial on some maps and bomb sites. But if you play him wrong and you put it on the wrong doorway, you're going to be a liability to your team, and the roamers are not going to be able to rotate back to site. Kavira, I'm going to go B tier for now. I do think she can be quite good. If you get an interrogation off, she can be very, very strong. Clash, I'm tempted to go C tier, and I think I am going to go C tier for now. Now, she is a good operator at doing what she's designed to do, which is just to slow down the attackers, force them to go different routes, and just be an annoyance to the team and just kind of waste time. With that being said, then we now have the new operator, Deimos. Now, I've played him on the test server once again. He seems absolutely badass. A cool little detail is that he whistles when you're tracking someone down. That has to be inspired by that Puss in Boots animated film, because oh my god, that is absolutely crazy. But yeah, the pistol that he gets, the Vendetta, is absolutely insane. The gadget is going to be extremely strong. I'm tempted to go either S tier or A tier. I think I'm just going to leave him in A tier for now. I don't want to overestimate how good he's going to be, you know what I mean? I want to give you guys a realistic tier list for next season. So I'm going to put him in A tier. He's probably going to be banned a lot for the first season as well. As for Doc, I think he's going to be an A tier operator again this season. He's getting ACOG on the MP5, which is just going to be insane for spawn peaks and just dealing with people at longer ranges. Dokkaebi, I think, also deserves A tier, maybe even an S tier, to be honest. Now, on the roadmap, as you guys know, they did announce that they are making some changes to Dokkaebi. They didn't actually tell us what it was going to be. If it's going to be a nerf, I'm going to be a little bit scared because we're finally going to get a nerf to Dokkaebi, and she probably deserves it at this point, but it's going to be so sad to see. Echo, I think A tier or top of B tier. I think I'm going to go A tier for now. I don't think he has access to the ACOG though next season, which is going to be a massive loss for him. Obviously, he's had those magnified scopes on his MP5 SD for a while now. As for Ella, I think B tier is good. The mines can be useful if detonated during the middle of a fight, but other than that, it's just more useful to bring like a Legion instead. Fenrir, also another operator that has been announced that he's getting a nerf, but that's not coming until season 2 or season 3, I believe. So until that comes, he is still in S tier, and when that eventually does come, all it's going to be is his gadgets are no longer going to be bulletproof. So I still think he could be S tier after that. If not, he might drop down to an A tier, but he's still going to be such a strong defender even after that nerf. Finka, in my opinion, I'm tempted to go A tier for Finka. I do like Finka. Similar with Lion, to be honest. They're both like, you just use it, it affects your whole team. If you use it at the right time, it can be crucial. If you combine these together as well, and you both Lion and Finka stim at the same time as your whole team rushes in, it's a deadly combo. As I said earlier though, Flores, it really depends on how the defenders are set up, but I do genuinely think that you can switch between any of the 3 like drone destroying operators, and they can all be A tier worthy. Frost, I'm tempted to put high C tier, if not low B tier. I'm not 100% sure. I literally do not play Frost anymore since the rework, I'm going to be completely honest, and it's not even down to anything other than the fact that I just don't have any desire to play her now. The fact that you can just trap someone in your trap and they can just get up by themselves, it's kind of just like, well, what's the point in bringing her then? I might as well just bring like a Legion or something. But moving on from that, we now have Fuse. Fuse can be extremely strong in the current meta. It's why he's banned so often actually, and I'm tempted to put him up in A tier again. He's got the AK-12, which absolutely slaps like a mother. Man, I'm telling you. Glaz though, I'm not sure where to put Glaz. I'm tempted to go C tier. I feel like for console, if this was a console list, C tier would be quite accurate unless you have a team and you're good at Glaz specifically. If you're on PC though, I think he has the potential to go all the way up to A tier. He's just one of those operators that's extremely situational. I think I'm going to put him in C tier because I think most of the time you're better off bringing someone else. Goyo, I think, deserves A tier, to be honest. He's close to jumping up into S tier, especially now that he's going to get ACOG on the Vector, which is absolutely insane, by the way. Gridlock, I'm going to go A tier as well. I do like her as an operator. Grim, B tier. His gadget is just extremely situational. It seems like such a rare occasion that you actually end up having to use it. Hibana, though, also A tier. I don't think she deserves S tier. Iana, also A tier. I mean, if she still had frag grenades, she would be an easy S tier, but she doesn't have them anymore. As for IQ, I'm going to go B tier. I do think she sits around these kind of level of operators. And while I'm here, actually, I think I'm going to knock down Blitz. And I think I'm going to knock down... No, actually, I'm quite comfortable with that. I think that's good. Moving on, then we now have Jackal, A tier, easy A tier, can just deal with the roamers very easily. But you do have some alternatives now. Deimos is an alternative to Jackal. I'm interested to see if his ban rate drops a lot this season. He could be a massive powerhouse this season, to be honest, because of Deimos. So keep your eye on that. If he's not banned, make sure you're running Jackal. Jaeger, definitely A tier. His gadget is always going to be so useful for that defensive team, but he's kind of let down by his loadout nowadays because his weapon's been nerfed into the ground. Kaid, S tier. To be honest, he's just so necessary for the defenders. If you want to stop them from hard breaching, you're going to have to bring either a Kaid or a bandit, and to be honest, I think Kaid is personally better. Kali, once again, kind of similar to Glaz, where they both got snipers. They're both very, very situational. I think she does bring a little bit more utility to the team, so if you want to put her low end of B tier, I could see why you'd want to do that. Next up, we have Capcan. Normally, I'd put Capcan in S tier because I'm very, very biased. I love playing Capcan, but he's just banned way too much. This season, I don't even think I've been able to play him as much as I've wanted to. For that reason, I don't think I could put him higher than A tier. I am a console player mainly, and on console, Capcan's just... No one checks for Capcan traps, so he's just even stronger. On PC, he's probably not even an A tier, might be a high B tier operator, but if someone doesn't check a doorway and you get a free kill, he could be great. Legion, easily A tier. possibly S tier. Feel like the utility he now brings, with the fact that he's got the audio cues so that you know where they're approaching from, plus he does that initial damage, plus he does the damage over time and stops them from sprinting. You can really combine all of those factors in together to put him in S tier, but if you want to put him high A tier, I can believe why as well. Next up then, we have Maestro. I genuinely think Maestro could be an A tier. The only thing about Maestro is if you're bringing him, please make sure you hide during the prep phase, because if the attackers see you playing Maestro and they switch to a Brava, she's going to give you living hell. Trust me. If they have a Brava and you're playing Maestro, oh my god, you're just going to be a massive L to the team. Maverick, I'm tempted to go A tier or high end of B tier. I think B tier is a better place for him. Malusi, I'm actually tempted to go C tier. She's just so irrelevant in the current meta. I'm interested to see how she plays out this season, because she's got the ACOG and the MP5, just like Doc and Rook do. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that one. Mira, I genuinely think she might be a B tier, low A tier operator nowadays. Her utility can be extremely useful. I'm thinking of bank basement objective. She can be so strong, but on some objectives she's just not really useful anymore, because if an attacker punches the other side of your mirror, it's useless. So I don't know, it's kind of up to you. It really depends on the map for that one. As for Montaigne then, I think he is probably the best shield operator right now. I think with the shield rework, being able to sprint, being able to look around independently and stuff like that, but no longer being able to hit fire, I think it was a nerf to Blitz, but a buff to Montaigne, a buff to Clash's shield as well. I think it was a bit of a nerf to Blitz though, because he could already sprint with his shield up, so it didn't really affect him in that way. So he's just, if anything, just lost the ability to hip fire. Either way, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on the shield operators and the shield rework in general. I think Mozzie deserves A tier. He can deny the attackers intel while giving intel to the defensive team. If you set them up in good spots, they can be pretty good. Even mid-round, if you switch to a drone and then drive around and find people and find intel, he can be so strong. Kind of similar to like an Echo, I'd assume. As for Mute, I'm tempted to go A tier, maybe low S tier, to be honest. He can be so strong in the meta. He's got a good shotgun, good loadout, good gadget, very versatile gadget as well. He kind of does what a bandit does, but with added benefits as well of being able to stop the drones. I actually might put him in S tier, which is kind of scary, because now that I'm looking at it, there is only 3 attackers in here right now, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders in S tier. No wonder Ubisoft are trying to target Azami and Fenrir in this roadmap, because if these two drop out of S tier, then it's starting to look a lot more balanced. As for Nook, I'm tempted to go C tier. The fact that her footsteps are no longer as quiet when you're using the gadget is kind of an L, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe B tier, I'm not 100% sure. I never play Nook, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave her in C tier. If you guys don't like that ranking, let me know down in the comments and why. Either way, Nomad, good solo queue operator. I'm gonna go B tier. The only thing I don't like about Nomad air jabs is that they are so loud. If you're as a defender and you're about to run through a doorway and you hear it, you just know there's one there and you just avoid it, and instead you just hold an angle on that doorway, or you just go around a different way. I feel like if that wasn't the case, or at least if it got quietened a little bit, then she would become probably an A tier operator, because she'd be more useful out of solo queue. But with that being said, Oryx, I'm going to go B tier. He gets a T5 SMG, which is a good SMG, as I'm going to zoom out here. The T5 SMG is a good SMG. He doesn't get any magnified scopes on it though, which is a massive L. With that being said, Osa, A tier or top of B? Once again, I think it kind of depends on the map. When you're playing Osa, don't use her on Windows, by the way, because you will just get C4'd. So just please don't use her on Windows. But as for Pulse, I'm going to go A tier again. There is so many operators in A tier right now, it's kind of scary. Ram, kind of want to go top of B or low A again. I think the fact that you're able to use all of her gadgets at the same time, or like before the last one's finished, it can create so much noise, and it can distract people from either you putting the bomb down or flanking or sprinting around the map. I think Ram has some pretty good potential. She has the R4C as well. Very interested to see how she does it in this new meta that Ubisoft are trying to create. As for Rook, I think he's a B tier operator. Very easy to learn for you beginners, but he's very limited with what he can do. Sense is the second and only operator going in D tier alongside Blackbeard. His gadget is pretty shocking, I'm not gonna lie. I think with this new trajectory system though, I don't know if it shows you the trail of where it's going to bounce. I really hope it does. I haven't actually experimented with that yet on the test server. If it does, they might actually be better than a D tier, but for now I'm still gonna leave them in D tier, because their gadget is literally worse than a smoke grenade. Either way, Sledge, A tier, Smoke, A tier, maybe high end of B tier, but I'm going to leave him in A tier for now. Solace, until she gets her nerf, is going to be S tier once again, which is another defender in S tier. And you know what? While I'm talking about S tier operators on defense, Valkyrie, also an S tier. The intel she can give to the team is absolutely insane. Tachanka, I'm going to go low C. If you want to, high C, sorry. If you want to put him low B tier, I can see why as well, but I think he deserves low end of C tier. He's just such a niche operator to get his gadget to work properly. As for Thatcher, I think he's an A tier operator still, even with impact EMP grenades. Yes, he's no longer as needed, but he still is very, very strong and is banned most games. Thermite, I'm going to go A tier as well. If you want to put Thermite in S tier, you can as well. I think you just need at least one hard breacher in S tier, depending on which one you think is the best. Probably deserves S tier. Thorn, I'm going to go B tier for Thorn. You very rarely get her gadget to actually work, but the loadout's pretty good, and she does get a magnified scope on a pretty overpowered weapon. Thunderbird, I'm going to go C tier. Tuberal, probably A tier. Could even be an S tier. The only reason I'm not putting him in S tier is because I don't really like the AR-15 that much. I probably need to just use him more. And then for the MPX, obviously there is no magnified scopes on any of the MPXs anymore, which once again, Warden, you've been nerfed, buddy. You're not A tier anymore. You're in B tier. Don't play Warden, please. Twitch though, A tier as well, along with the other drone destroying operators, as I said earlier. Vigil, B tier. Wamai, also A tier, similar to Jaeger. Probably a little bit better than Jaeger right now, especially now that he gets the AHOG on the MP5K. As for Ying, the final operator joining S tier, she can be so strong. Yes, pretty situational, but still, even if you're playing solo queue or if you're playing with a squad, you can use Ying so well. Sam Fisher, 0, I'm going to put him in A tier. He can do it all. He's got hard breach, he's got like flank watch cameras, cameras for intel, just cameras to destroy the hard breach stuff as well. 0 can really do it all. And then finally, Sophia, I'm gonna go B, low end of B tier. I think that is my complete list. Is there any changes I want to make to this? I think I did do Nook a bit harsh. I think I'm gonna put her up. I think Blitz could come up as well, and you're not even Glaz and Frost could go up. Either way, guys, if I move my camera, that is my complete tier list. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Hopefully you guys go on to enjoy. Click the video on screen, and I'll see you in the next one.
Tell me what's the buzz? Wrestle up my hype, you get it done. I swarm 1,000,000 to 1. You know my venom packs a punch. Tell me what's the buzz?